Nice. So we're back here for our class of Unreal Engine 5, where we're going to talk about collisions. Let's open our file and understand how we can use this, okay? And when we can use the collisions to work our models, okay? Nice. Here's the level of example. Okay, collisions. For what? Am I going to use collisions in no projects? Well, if we think in this project here, Piano House, until now, until the moment to render the video, the last class was a class in Earth, uh, you know, that we learned how to bring to Max, to Unreal, how to import, how to distribute the assets, illuminate templates, put grass, materials, create cameras, animate and render the video. So, if the goal of the project is a video, well, until the last class, it was enough, okay? Exception of the class ray tracing that we're gonna talk in the next module. So there is no need um, to do collisions. When am I going to use collisions in my project? Well, when I want to work on my project and I want to send an executable to the client so the client can navigate uh, through the environments, okay? So when you talk about Unreal Engine, um, you basically have uh, two ways of presentation. Actually, three. Render static render that you can use the screenshot or the sequence or the move render quill. Uh, when you're going to do an animation that you can animate with a sequence or move render quill, and when you're going to navigate in real time. Okay, for example, take this project, transform this in a game, and send to your client, so that your client in his computer is gonna open the project and he's gonna navigate. Okay, he's gonna go through the spaces, open the doors, close the doors. For example, uh, click with the button and the sliding door is gonna open or close, you know, change the materials. So for this process, you're gonna need collisions. What are collisions? Well, collisions are the resources that we use on Unreal to, for example, not let we go through walls. You know, look at this. We are here. We are going through the walls because uh, there is no collisions. Okay, there is nothing that is going to stop me, by going through this wall. As in a game, in a video game, if there is no collision, for example, on the walls, we're gonna go through then. Okay, and to avoid going through the walls, going through the furnitures of the vegetations, the ceiling, and also the floor, we need to add collisions. Okay, but okay, uh, do I need to add collisions in all moments? Well, if you're gonna navigate here on the editor, you don't need this. But if you're going to navigate on the game, like you're gonna click on play, to navigate inside the game, you need collisions. For example, we are navigating, we're playing, okay? If I get closer to the wall, I'm gonna go through this. Look at this, because there are no collisions. If I get closer to the vegetation, I'm not gonna go through this because I'm pressing W, but I cannot go through this. Okay, because there's collision in this vegetation. this one as well, you know, there's collision. That's why I cannot go through this. Let me see if there is collision. Yeah, here as well. Okay, on the floor, these rocks. Remember that it was migrated. Remember we brought from the key house, and in the key house, we had collisions, but the walls here, they don't have collisions. Okay, so let's add collisions in our project so that we can prepare for the next module. Okay, that is the module about coding, where we're going to learn how to create the interactions of opening doors, turning on lights, changing materials, and we're going to do that in real time, like in a game. Okay, press shift plus ask. Okay, how can I add a collision? Select the asset. All right, it's super simple. Select the asset that you want to add the collision details. Double click here to access the detail. All right. In collision, you're gonna add a collision. What kind of collision? Well, a sphere, capsule, box, autoconvex. Uh, do you agree with me that it's a rectangle, but it looks like more like a box than with a sphere? So we can add a box. Okay, look at this. It has created this green area that is the collision area. Okay, I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna close it. All right, we added in this element. All right, we clicked on play. All right, we're going through this and let's try to go through this. Look at this. I cannot do it. I'm pressing W, but I cannot uh, get inside this object. Okay, I cannot go through this because there's collision. Okay, so when we bring the character that is gonna walk uh, through our project, he's not gonna fall, right? He's not gonna fall like this on the floor because there's collision. Okay, that's it. Shift ask. Let's add more collisions. All right, so this element is okay. Let's hide this. All right, press 8. Where else can we add collisions? Let's add on in the swimming pool. No, no, actually, let's add here in this element. Double click on it, collision, box. Agree with me? It looks more like a box, right? All right, done. Press 8. Let's add on the couch. Uh, it looks like a box. All right. Look at this. Nice. Press 8. Uh, I think this one we can add as a sphere or capsule. Well, as capsule. Yeah. Collision capsule. Why as capsule, Dennis? Well, uh, if I leave this object that is lower as box, uh, because of this, the character is gonna understand this as a step, and probably he's gonna climb on it. But if it's a capsule or a sphere, he's not gonna be able to climb on it. Okay. So yeah, as capsule, press 8. This is a little low as well. So let's add the capsule, the type capsule. Look at this. You see? Maybe box can be better. Hmm. Capsule and box. Let's remove the collision and let's add of the type box because I think that's good. Um, nice. They are instance. That's why they both were made. This couch can be with box as well. Collision box. Yeah. Press 8. Nice. For the chairs, I think it can be capsule. Look. Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. They are round. Okay. And I'm not gonna be able to climb on them. As it is an instance, it was already applied to the others. Press 8. The table. A box. You see? Simple like that. This bench, it can be a box. Nice. Press 8. The piano. A box as well. It's tall. I think box is gonna work well. Nice. Mm, the wall. We're gonna talk about it soon. We're gonna make something different there. Look, I think this bathtub. I can put capsule. Look, perfect. I'm not gonna be able to get into it. All right. These two elements. Let's see. Of the type capsule. Yeah, I think capsule. Yeah. Their instance. Yeah. Collisions capsule. Yeah. Yeah. Instances. Okay. Uh, the bed. Possibly there is already. Let's see. Yeah, there is already collision. So let's see. This armchair, I think we can put of the type box. Yeah, nice. It's okay. It's tall. It's not gonna understand like a step. This one. Let's see. Oops. Collision. I think it's kind of low. Capsule is better. Yeah, nice. This one as a capsule as well. All right, collision capsule. Perfect. It's an instance, so nice. Yeah. Uh, let's see. The objects, they were already made. Okay, great. The objects, they have collisions. Now we need to add these collisions to the walls. Let's see this wall here. It's like a square. Okay. Look. Yeah, only square. Let's add a collision of the type box. Box collision. Look. Right? I'm not gonna be able to go through this because there is a collision. Um the frames, I don't think so. It's a more specific case. We're gonna talk about that soon. Okay. Now let's talk about the floor. Mm, let's see. Let's see this wall. Let's see. The swimming pool, I think it can be a box. Yeah, collision box. Look, the swimming pool is done. Alright, it's cool. Um, alright. Now the rest, I think they are bigger elements and they are elements like meshes that are um, attach it to other meshes. For example, if I select and apply a collision of the type box, it doesn't make sense because it has created this area, uh, like in the whole area. So I wouldn't be able to get into the project. So let's do this test. Let's play it. Look, I cannot get inside the project because the box, the collision, uh, isn't letting me getting in. Okay. Look, because there's a collision of the type box that took out the area of these windows. So I cannot, access inside the project. So the box doesn't work in this case. All right. In the case of the Windows, box doesn't work. So let's remove the collision. Okay, so what's gonna work here, Dennis? Well, for this case, where I have a lot of meshes in only one mesh, well, it's gonna work a type of collision that, let me see, of the type geometry volume here. You're gonna find the volume collision. Let's see. Let me see if we can find it here. Blocking volume. You see that it's like a little hand, the icon. So let's try to find it here. Volume. Blocking volume. This one. I'm gonna click and drag it into the scene. Alright. Press G. Alright, let's bring it again. Press G to see the actors. Block volume. Look at this. Nice. What is that? Well, it's a volume. It's a block volume. So if there is this block, I cannot go through this. For example, it is here, and I'm gonna click on play. So look at this. Let's try. Look, it's invisible. You see it is? It's invisible, and I cannot go through this. I cannot see this, but it's a blocking volume. It blocks me. I cannot go through this. So what can we do? Well, we can use this blocking volume to block the access of the players where I don't want them to get access. Okay. For example, let's take it off here, the ceiling, so that we can see our scene. All right. Let's see. Well, I don't want that the character, when he's gonna navigate, uh, goes through this wall. So I want to block, you know, the access of this wall. So he's not gonna be able to go through this wall. All right. Look at this. More or less like this. All right. Now I didn't add the blocking in the geometry. Okay. What I did, I added a volume, a blocking volume. So the collision in this case isn't in the geometry. The collision is a blocking volume that I put manually. So we don't want to have access to this area here. We don't want the character to get here. So what can we do? Press Alt to create a copy, and you do it this area by using scale, you know, putting here. You see this? Now the character doesn't have access to this area because I'm blocking the access. Okay, he's not gonna be able to access here. All right. Where else it is interesting to use the block? Let's see. For example, we don't want the character to have access to the external garden. So let's create the blocking volume here in the garden. We don't want the character to go to the garden. Okay, we want him to have access only the internal part of the house. So here it's blocked. He cannot access for here. So all these, for example, uh, corridor like this hall, we can block so that the character is not going to be able to go through the wall, and he's not going to be able to go out, over a level, for example. Look, let's block the access here to this hall. So he's only going to be able to access inside, all right? Because we have this blocking volume, all right? And it is blocking his access. It's very good because if you have a project of ArcGIS that you're gonna send to your client and he's gonna navigate there, and for example, you didn't finish all the areas, okay, all the spaces, all the project. So, for example, there are some places, some rooms that you didn't finish, you didn't uh, put any type of furnitures, so you wouldn't like that your client to get access to these places. So you can create a blocking volume. So he's not gonna have access. Okay. So the client isn't gonna have access, for example, here. Okay. Another area that I wouldn't like my client to have access, for example, the closet. Okay. I wouldn't like my client to have access to the closet. Press Alt to create a copy. I reduce this here. All right. Okay. Let's see. So, all right, I don't want my client to have access inside my closet and here as well. Okay. So, look, I didn't put anything in the closet, so I wouldn't like my client to get there. So, yeah, that's why I blocked his access here. So, let me enlarge here more. Okay. Nice, very nice. All right. So let's put a blocking volume here as well. So he's not going to be able to go through the wall. Look at this. Okay. Look at this. I'm going to put it here, for example. So he's not going to go through uh, this wall. Okay. And here. Nice. So the client isn't going to go through this. All right. These places. Okay. Here are the windows. So let's add a block in here. Like here. So he's not gonna go here. We blocked his access. Alright. Look at this. Alright, he's not gonna go through this. Alright, he's blocked his access. Where else? I think we can actually copy this volume here. It is here. Let's see. Let's adjust it here. Look, let's bring it here. Uh, let's decrease a little bit. Yeah, that's it. Nice. A little bigger, and let's align this here. Nice. That's it. Yeah, very well. We're finishing. Yeah, we can add on this wall. Uh, oops, snap. Let's see. Let's add to this wall here behind the bed. All right, I want my character to have access to that hall, but I don't want him to go through this wall. So yeah, nice. Let's enlarge there until here. Great. Yeah, nice. Let's block this bedroom here. I don't want my client to have access here. So I'm gonna block the access here. Okay, so he's not gonna be able to get inside here. Great. I don't want him to go through this window here. Alright, I'm gonna create a copy like this. Let's decrease this and decrease this. Look, right here. It's not gonna go through this. Okay, here I want him to go through. However, I don't want him to go through the window. Makes sense? Alright, however, I want that he can be able to open the door. So the collision in this case is gonna go on the door. But I'm gonna talk about these collisions of the doors in the class of blueprint so that we're gonna understand some really nice concepts where we use triggers, okay? To create our blueprints. and also to recognize some of these triggers. Um, we're gonna use collisions, okay? So I'm gonna put it here so he's not gonna be able to go through the wall. Okay, very well. Yep. Nice. And here, let's see. It can be this one here. Okay, let's just adjust here. Okay, that's great here. Nice. Here it's great as well. All right. Nice. Uh, this one is blocked already. And here, let's see. We can bring this here. Okay. All right, in the position. Let's see. Look, a little like this. Mm, yeah, that's it. Nice. 90 degrees. Yeah, that's it. Look, the access to the glass. We don't want him to go through the glass, okay? However, we want him to be able to open the door 90 degrees, okay? Through blueprint. So you don't need to put collision here. We're gonna apply with in the class of blueprint, okay? Here for this wall here, all this L here. Yeah, that's it. Very well. It looks that that is the last wall. If it's not, it is almost the last one. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Let's. Oh, there is another wall there. All right, here's the same thickness. Okay, almost the same thickness. All right, only for the character not go through the wall. Yeah, that's it. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Where else? Um, I think this window we already have. Uh, this two we don't have. So let's make this copy here to this window here. All right, so that the character is not gonna go through this. Right. Let's put it here. All right, nice, very well. To this, it makes sense, yeah. So that the character isn't gonna um, get inside here this wall. And it looks, oh, there is this and this L here. So yeah, let's take this and send it to this L here. Very well. Look here, let's put it here. Here, let's put it here. Here. Okay, nice. And here, all right? Because there's a door to access the bedroom that we want to open, okay? It's like it is a sliding door. Look, I think it's okay. But there's the floor, yeah, basically. It has this clipping, so it's gonna be easier. Or we can select this and let's try to use the auto convex collision, and it's gonna try to recognize the edges of the floor. Apply it. Look, it didn't recognize, so let's try to increase the number of vertices. No, it wasn't enough. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. Apply it. Let's see. No collision. Let's increase this a lot and let's see if it's gonna recognize. No. Okay, so let's remove and let's add these boxes. All right, these collision boxes. It's easy for the floors. Just expand this. All right. So it's gonna take all the area of the floor, and our character isn't gonna go through uh, our floor. Yeah, that's it. Here. All right. Where is the step? It's here. Okay. All right. It's cool here. Uh, Look, uh, everything is on the same level here. So let's expand. Nice. Look, a little more. Yeah, that's it. And now just one for this floor. We can take this one and we can put it here. All right. We can decrease a little bit so that it's gonna be more beautiful. Nice. All right. And to finish this, we don't want our character to go through here in the infinite and not here as well, for example. So it is here on this area. Control plus 8 so that we can show everything, and all the elements have collision, uh, except this area of grass. But we can put it level grass. Let's take a look. We brought the grass collision. Let's see. Let's use this here because it is already here. Ouch! I create a copy and I put it here on the level of the grass. Look, this way we have these steps here, you know, lower levels and higher levels. Okay, let's play it. Let's see if the collisions are working. If it makes sense. For example, I'm not gonna go through the floor. I'm gonna press W. Look, I cannot go through, you know. So if it makes sense, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna be able to go through this wall. Look at this. I was blocked. Here as well. Let's see. Okay. Here as well. Here as well. You see? Yeah, nice. Uh, this door, we didn't add collision because we're gonna open this by using coding. So probably I can go through. This one we blocked. We cannot go through. Here as well. You see the table, there is collision, the chairs, couch, piano. You see the floor, uh, here, swimming pool. We cannot go through this glass, okay? I cannot go through there, you know, and that's good because I cannot see what is behind there. So the character cannot go all the places. Okay, so the bed, there's collision. I cannot go through the bed. I cannot, you know, access the closet. Let me see. Oh, the TV is not working. We're gonna find out why. Look at this. Cannot go through. I cannot get out. Cannot. I go here. Okay, so making this process, you can delimit where your client will have access and where he's not gonna have access. Okay, mainly so that he's not gonna go through the walls. All right, or glasses or things like that. Nice. So I'm gonna finish this class where we learned how to put collisions in a simple way. Okay, there are other ways, like harder to do that. For example, for the collision to understand your geometry, but it's not that cool because it increases uh, the scene, like, it's gonna be heavier. It uses the polygons to understand the geometry. So let's keep this one, and after, if it's necessary, we can learn the other way. Okay. Like more complex, to understand the geometries. We can see that in the blueprint class, okay, if it's necessary. So I'm gonna finish this class here, and I'll see you in the next class where we're gonna talk about or blueprint, that is the coding, you know, or ray tracing. All right, see you.